This week's topic of conversation, fiscal policy. Expansionary policy, contractionary policy, crowding out, and lag. So, first of all, we're going to start off with expansionary policy. So, what expansionary policy is, it's basically when the government decides, oh hey, the economy is being slow, we need to expand it and spark some growth into it. So we're gonna increase government spending, which generally means borrowing money, which was topic of conversation for last week. Debt ceiling, yay. Um, we're gonna provide jobs, at least try to. We're gonna try to cut off unemployment rates. Um, we're going to try to cut taxes and do things like that. So that's what expansionary policy is. Then we got contractionary policy, which is the opposite. The economy is doing great. Yeah, cool. We're growing. Our GDP is skyrocketing. Unemployment rates are really low, and we're able to really grow, which is going to cause a rise of inflation. So contractionary policy is like, well, let's contract that inflation down, and we're going to make it hard for people to spend money. So they'll increase interest rates, they'll increase the reserve requirements, and they'll try to reduce the money supplies uh, wherever they can. Which then leads us to crowding out. Now, crowding out and expansionary policy kind of go hand in hand in being explained. Because what crowding out happens is when the government's like, oh, the economy is too slow, we need to expand it, they start setting in their own ideas of way to do that. They'll start making more schools, they'll start building libraries, and really what they're trying to do is to lower what we as the people have to spend. That way we can spend more to the other companies to help grow the economy. Well, the issue with that is that as the government borrows money and is able to implement themselves into society, we private sectors end up getting crowded out, and they're not able to do what they need to do because of taxes or anything of the sort. A great example of crowding out would be Obamacare, because perfect example would be Hobby Lobby, which they're like, oh, well, so the government's coming in and they're doing all their things, uh, and we don't want to provide benefits, or not benefits, but con- contraception packages for people because it's against our beliefs. Um, and the government's like, yeah, you're gonna have to anyways, and the government controls in their plan and their policy, the government controls everything and ends up finding them, which that may not have been more of a good example as more of a personal rant and my frustration. Anyways, but insurances, a lot of insurances and doctors are getting screwed because they can't people can't afford to buy their insurance, so they're going to take the $1,500 a year hit or whatever the fine is for not having health care. And so a lot less people are actually going to be able to buy insurances. They're going to make the private sector of insurances go down. And yeah, that's about how that works. And because Obamacare, also the insurance rates skyrocketed. Like, I know people. Okay, sorry, not Obamacare. The Affordable Care Act, or the ACA. So they skyrocket the prices from, like, I don't know, like I heard people that are spending like $250 a month for their insurance, depending on what their work insurance was, and now they're spending $700 a month. That's ridiculous. That's a $500 a month increase. I mean, I could go rent an apartment for that. $700. That's ridiculous. There's just no reason unless you want really top of the line care, but you don't get top of the line care. So that's the Obama or the ACA requirements, affordable, and so private sector is getting crowded out because, well, people on welfare, they're not paying for their insurance. The government owes too much to be able to pay for their insurance, so they're going to expect to just do it out of mercy, free. I don't know. Doctors, a lot of them are going to go pro bono now, probably because people aren't going to have the insurance for the insurances to pay. They're not going to have the money to pay themselves. And the people who were buying insurance, instead of spending $250 a month to $700 a month, no longer have the money to be able to buy their insurance. Therefore, the insurances are being crowded out because the government is taking over that sector, which shouldn't happen, in my personal opinion. But I'm not going to get on this huge angry rant about ACA because, well, this isn't politics class, this is macroeconomics. Anyways, lag. So there are 5 different types of lag, which lag comes from, like, the government's like, oh, hey, we've been monitoring this, and so we have to figure out what we need to do to fix the rise of inflation or the economy going south. So they're constantly monitoring it, and when they decide they have to make a decision, the process of that entire thing is lagged out on 5 different stages. There's data lag, which just means it takes 2 quarters or 2 sessions to be able to get the information, um, and so and then there's recognition lag. We're like, oh, hey, look, it's been 2 quarters now. We should probably do something about this. And then you got legislative lag, which I am sure is the longest force or sort of lag, because that's the politicians arguing amongst themselves for countless hours, days, weeks, months, sometimes years, because, well, they're really good at getting nothing done. And then there's implementation lag, which once it's been passed, it's got to actually be put into place. So if, like, you're building a school, then you have to drop the school plans, hire the contractors, build the school. Then there's the effectiveness lag. So once all of that's done, it actually, is making a difference in the economy. Here's my issue with lag. I'm a gamer. I understand that lag sucks. So, not to be graphic, but that's the best way to describe it, in my opinion, from a gamer standpoint. If I'm sitting there holding a sniper rifle, I'm like, oh, hey, look, there's my target. Bam, I shoot. Without lag, I expect my target to cease to exist. However, with lag on the internet, when I pull that trigger, I'm like, bam. And then I realize my target's another 20 feet that way. I was leading the target originally, but now it's 20 feet that way because of lag. There was no point for me to take the shot. If I knew that there was lag, I would never have picked up the sniper rifle. I'd be like, alright, well, let's see how I can do it hand-to-hand, because it's going to be a lot more effective. I understand that no matter what you do in anything, there is always at least a little bit of lag. That's understandable. But when you have legislative lag, like, forget the rest. Legislative lag has got to be the worst by far, because it's something that could be reduced, and it's not. So the government's like, oh, we have this issue, so we need to take a shot and try to fix this issue. Lag. Lots and lots of lag. And by the time the policy is implemented, the people of America have already, or any society really, I can't say any society, so the people of America have generally tried to fix it, and it's actually in a process of recovering. But by the time the government put theirs in, they're like, oh, hey, look, oh, it's in the process of recovering? Well, we'll leave it there anyways, and it just makes things, it's pointless government spending for no help at all. So, I like government staying out of things, as you can tell through all my other posts. I'm not a big fan of big government. I like small government. I think it's a necessity. We do need defense. We do need welfare with better regulations, in my opinion. Like, I don't want to say, oh, the poor, no welfare. You guys, peace. See ya, you're screwed. No, that's not it. As a Christian, we're called to care for the poor. But we're not called to support and enable the poor. We're supposed to help them get back on their feet so they can do what they need to do to be a contribution to society again. And so I think that the government is a necessity, but I think that they are going big government, and it needs to be shrunk down. We need to have a contractionary policy for our government. That is what I'm going to go with. So, hope you enjoyed. Hope it made sense. Have fun. Have a good week.